What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 30-day Yoga with Adriene challenge. I'm Adriene, and today is day 2. Let's get started. Alrighty, so today we're going to begin in extended child's pose, bringing the knees as wide as your yoga mat, bringing your 2 big toes together. I'm using a little blankie to pad my legs, so that's always a nice, comfy option. All right, here we go. Walking the fingertips all the way out, nice and slow, easing into our practice today. We take a deep breath in, and on an exhale, release. Let's keep some active reach through the arms. We're starting to open up through the side body. We melt the heart down and let the belly be soft here. So your pose might look like this, and that's okay. In time, we'll be getting the space to send the sit bones all the way back. So be in the moment, and we'll begin by tuning into the breath here. So you don't need to look at the video here. You can relax your forehead on the earth or on a pillow or a block. We're just going to take a second here to notice the breath. And you can bring the palms to a little bit wider, like a flying V if the shoulders are feeling tight. And we take a deep breath of gratitude in, gratitude for ourselves for showing up on the mat today, taking this time to practice. Take a second here to connect to your intention or set a new one. Might just be one word or a current mantra or goal. And we use some breath to send some energy to that, just kind of confirming it, the power of word, the power of thought. So deep in your breath here, you might even begin to connect to an ujjayi breath. Then with the eyes closed or the gaze nice and soft, I'll begin to lift my head up, drawing a line with the nose forward. Moving into a little drunk cat-cow, I'm going to spread my palms and inhale, moving in a circle. Inhale, come forward. Might walk the knees in just a hair. And then exhale, come around and back through that extended child's pose. Again, we inhale, smooth the heart forward. You get a little freaky here, start to work out the kinks. And exhale around and back. And now in your own time, you can take your gaze off the video, you might even close your eyes. And we begin to notice any tight spots, stretching it out, reversing your circle, inhaling as you come forward. And exhaling as you come around and back. Begin to check in with the hips, the shoulders, even the neck. Sometimes my friends in yoga will come all the way to the front. So you get to explore. See if you can synchronize the breath with the movement and the movement with the breath. Linger in the places that it feels good to linger in. And also, you might find that the place that feels good to linger in for you in this little warm-up is here in extended child's pose. So a couple more rounds, a couple more breaths. Awesome, and then we'll come up to a tabletop position here, walking the wrists underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hip points. Press into the tops of the feet, and here we go. Inhale, extend the right toes out. So we're extending through the right leg. Now turn your right toes over towards the left side of your mat so you can level those hips. So I go from here, I'm exaggerating, to here, and I draw my lower belly in. Navel draws up. Beautiful. Now imagine pressing your right foot into an imaginary wall. And don't forget about your foundation. So we're pressing into all 10 knuckles and really using the top of that left foot. Now inhale, slide the left fingertips forward, plug the left shoulder in and breathe. Navel to spine, rib cage draws in, and we create a full body experience. Breathe into the back body. Inhale in here and exhale, release on the breath out. Awesome, let's take it to the other side. So checking in, sending the left toes out and dialing that left hip down by turning the left toes towards the right side of your mat. Find your foundation. Notice if you're collapsing into your bones here, kind of like, see if you can bring a little integrity, waking up the body. And often that means you're working harder. But the more we practice, the easier it'll get, the more ease we'll find, and the softer and sweeter it feels. Navel draws up. And we can stay here, or we can extend the right fingertips out. Plug that right shoulder in. We're reaching as if we're trying to shake someone's hand here, and then we're pulling back through that right shoulder. Navel draws up. We hug everything into the midline. Take one more deep, full breath here. And then exhale, release. Awesome. Cat-cow, dropping the belly. Inhale, heart forward. Find a long neck here, and then exhale, rounding the spine. You know what to do. Find your breath. Just a couple rounds here, warming up the spine back and forth. And then we'll come back to tabletop position. Same thing as before. This time we're going to pick up the pace and move with a little flow or a little vinyasa. So I'm going to extend the right toes out, and as I do that, I'm going to send the left fingertips forward. Again, I grab that imaginary handshake there, and I check in with my joints, pulling the shoulder in, dropping the right hip down. Inhale in. You might gaze forward or keep the gaze straight down. So we have lots of options here depending on how your neck's feeling. On an exhale, reel everything in, nose to knee. Press up out of your foundation and squeeze, squeeze, squeeze everything up. Inhale, extend. Move nice and slow. Exhale, nose to knee. Press away from the earth. Inhale, extend, find your breath. And exhale, nose to knee. One more. Inhale, extend. Spread your fingertips and toes wide. And exhale. Hug it in towards your heart. Hold here for one breath cycle, in and out, working strong. I know, navel up. And then exhale, release. Awesome. Switching to the other side, we're going to jump right in. Inhale, left toes out, right fingertips forward. Find your alignment, check in with that action, and then when you're ready, we begin to flow. Inhaling, extend, and exhaling, reeling it in. Inhale, extend, find your foundation. If you feel a little wobbly, press into your foundation. Exhale, hug everything in. Inhale, spread your fingertips, spread your toes. And exhale to the heart. Yes. And one more. Inhale, smile, lighten up a little bit. And exhale to the heart. Hold here, squeeze, press into your foundation. Hug it in, hug it in, hug it in. And then exhale, we release. Awesome. Good job. Curl the toes under, walk the fingertips all the way up. Helps if you have a little padding for the knee here. If you don't, you can grab something now. A towel works great, or you can even double up on the mat. So a little yoga for the feet moment here. So when I first came here in yoga, I couldn't believe how much it hurt. My feet were not alive and not awake, and I was just cramming them into shoes, and a lot of my standing postures would bring foot cramps and genuine foot pain. So now I like to integrate a little yoga for the feet here. You just gently rock a little side to side, seeing if you can press into your pinky toe. If this is too much, you can always use blocks to stabilize you, or even little fingertips. I have this nice bench here. So one more breath, you got it. Whoa. And then we'll release back to all fours. Come onto the tops of the feet here. On an inhale, we press away. On an exhale, we find that hovering cat. So this is a full body strengthener, but I also think this is great, just spinal check-in, connecting from the crown of the head to the tip of the tailbone. Welcome a little heat. If you are wanting a little more heat in your practice, you can work on this sawing motion back and forth. If you're new to yoga or the challenge, you might just stay here, holding on for dear life, but infusing your breath into each moment. Let's do one more breath in and out. You got this. And then we release. Awesome, everyone. So we'll stay on the tops of the feet this time as we walk the fingertips all the way up and come to the knees. So just notice if the toes have started to come in or go out. Let's see if we can keep an awareness on the feet. Nice parallel lines here. And you might start to go into toxic thought world if your feet are all moving, and but that's why we're here, to practice and just kind of take stock and then see how it evolves. So no worries if the toes are curling in or going out. Let's just see what's up. Okay, from here, a little love for the wrist. We're going to come into this kind of zombie thriller mode here. And if you can, draw that lower belly in a bit, tuck your tailbone down. So just a little integrity in the torso. And to check that, you can lean back a little bit, and you'll notice if you're like all in a bunch of pieces or if you can kind of come into one sweet piece. That's what she said, or he said. Doesn't even make any sense. Okay, bring your right thumb to your left palm. So it's coming to the center of the palm here, and I'm going to wrap my fingertips around to press my thumb into the hand and just find this beautiful stretch throughout the arm. Okay, nice and easy here. Shoulders are going to want to come up here because that's what we're used to. So relax them down. One more breath. Whew, and then we switch. Left thumb now to the right palm, and I just give it a little bit of a push. Oh yeah, this is great for carpal tunnel. This is awesome. Again, if you're at the computer a lot, use your hands. This is great. Shoulders are relaxing down. Take one more breath. And then I release. Awesome. Hands are going to come behind now, fingertips up towards the sky. I bring them to the lower back, the sacrum area here. And if we're really tight in the shoulders, we might just come about this far. In time, we'll be able to press the palms to the sacrum. And then this is where I really press into my feet here. Remember my feet, and open the chest and the heart. So to each his own here. Maybe I'm beginning to grow my back bend practice already, hugging the shoulder blades in, elbows hugging in. I press down through my palms and I keep the heart lifted so I'm not collapsing here, youch, but pressing up and away from my foundation. So we might be at different levels here. We might keep it nice and stacked. Let's take one more breath wherever you are. Fill it with air. And exhale, gently release. Awesome. You might just take a loop of the shoulders here or rotation of the wrists. And then we're going to dive forward and send the sit bones up to downward facing dog. So curl the toes under and keep it nice and slow as you come up into our first downward dog of the practice today. Pedaling it out, melting the heart back, finding your breath. I'm going to move my blankie to the side now. And the tops of the shoulders rotate out. The tops of the thighs rotate in. We find space with each micro movement, paying attention to the detail here as we listen to our bodies. And deepen the breath. Awesome. Then we're going to bend the knees generously, carve a line with the nose, look forward. Repeat the walk up from yesterday, or bend your knees generously, take a deep breath in, and on an exhale, hop the feet up towards the front of your mat. Together we'll land in our forward fold. Work out the kinks here. Take a couple of freestyle moments to find what feels good. Sway a little side to side. Keep it soft and easy breezy. Then on your next breath in, let's lift up to that flat back position. Full breath in. And on an exhale, slide it down. Cool. Tuck the chin into the chest and we roll up to Tadasana, mountain pose. Draw energy up from the arches of the feet. You might lift your kneecaps slightly here and we come into present mountain pose. So for me, if I could just connect to Tadasana every day for 30 days, I'd feel like a total awesome badass. Excuse me. So take a second here to find your breath and stand up nice and tall. Open your heart, open your chest, lift up from the earth. Then find a softness in the knees, this buoyancy, and we'll spread the fingertips wide. And on your next big breath in, reach all the way up and overhead and exhale down through the midline. Here we go, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long, beautiful neck. And exhale, slide it down. Plant the palms, step or hop it back to plank. Don't panic. Nice and soft as we ease into it here. Pedal the feet. You might bend the knees back and forth. Stretch the feet again. Press into those pinkies. After you've wiggled it out a little bit, come into a place of stillness, pressing up from the earth, drawing your navel to your spine, and really trying to avoid this collapse in the upper back body. So breathe into the upper back body and see if you can create like a balloon shape there, kind of hollow it out. Holding for one more breath. We got this. And then sending the navel up and back, downward facing dog. Hip points high up towards the sky, sit bones spread left to right. We find a little movement and then a little stillness. Bend the knees generously, inhale, look forward, exhale, hop or float the feet up towards the front. You can also repeat that walk that we did before. And here we go, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, getting the juices flowing, we forward fold. Inhale, spread the fingertips, slowly reach it all the way up. And exhale, back down through the midline. Forward fold. Nice job, everyone. Inhale, halfway lift here. Keep it soft in the knees, careful not to lock. And exhale, bow. Step or hop it back to plank. And we hold here for 3 breaths. Notice if the hips are dipping or peeking up. See if we can create one nice long piece from the crown of the head all the way to the heels. And then we'll slowly lower the knees, hug the elbows into the side body. Keep your lower belly drawing in as you lower down, elbows back, like 2 little grasshopper legs here. We slide onto the belly, release the feet down and inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, baby cobra. Pull the elbows back. Gentle back bend here, open your heart. And exhale, release. And one more, press into your foundation strong. This time, see if you can turn the palms up for a moment. Just make sure you're not muscling into your cobra here, but really bringing integrity and awareness into the spine. And we gently release, curl the toes under. Remember, you have an option here to press all the way up to plank, then send it back to downward dog, or move through the sweet transition of all 4s, and then peeling it up. So we always have options. Keep mixing and matching. Deep breath in, and long exhale out. Bend the knees generously, carve a line with your nose, look up, have a little fun here. Inhale in, exhale, hop it up. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, long, beautiful neck. Exhale, soften and bow. This time, bring the feet together if you haven't already and keep a little bit of space, about a thumbprint's worth of space between your heels. Bend your knees generously, bring your belly to the tops of your thighs. Now we're going to swim the fingertips back, press the palms into an imaginary floor here as you fly your heart open in a Utkatasana variation here. So there's going to be this curve in the spine. I'm going to try to dial my lower rib cage in, draw my navel up. Legs are working hard here, but we're breathing strong. We're relaxing the shoulders. And imagine me, gently pulling your fingertips slightly away towards the back edge of your mat. So we go from here to finding this openness. Take the ease from yesterday's practice and put it into this pesky pose here. Sit down a little bit lower, send your weight back to your heels. One more breath, you got this. In fact, let's reach the fingertips forward for this last breath. Deep breath in, and then exhale, hallelujah, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bow, step or hop now, the feet back to plank. Yogi's choice. Hold here for just one breath, in and out. Then lower the knees for chaturanga practice, or if you're ready, you might shift your weight forward on your toes, hug the elbows into the side body, and lower down halfway. Inhale to upward facing dog, or repeat the cobra. Take a deep breath in, and on an exhale, back to downward facing dog we go. Nice, everyone. Deep breath in, and long exhale out. Bend the knees generously. Belly comes to the tops of the thighs. We look forward. Inhale. Exhale. Hop it up. Inhale. Halfway lift. Exhale. Bow. Bend the knees generously. Send your weight back to your heels. Sit bones, reach towards the back edge of your mat as we find our flying arms again and open our hearts. Utkatasana variation. Press into an imaginary earth here. So there's a little resistance. We're not just kind of floppity flop here, but create that full body experience. Squeeze the inner thighs together, navel in. One more breath. Imagine me pulling your pinkies or your fingers back towards the back of your mat. One more breath. And exhale, release. Awesome. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, bow. Step or hop it back to plank. You got this. Hold one breath. Chaturanga practice or chaturanga. So we're moving through a vinyasa here that will be a little different for everyone, and you can mix and match. So if you're new to the practice, you might lower the knees, hug the elbows into the side body, and inhale, lift up to cobra, or your chaturanga to up dog option. Together we'll meet in downward facing dog, where this time we'll drop the left heel and inhale, slide the right leg up high. Take a deep breath in, press into both palms evenly, drop your right toes down. Inhale in, exhale, squeeze the right knee all the way up in towards your heart. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, stepping it all the way up and into your low lunge. Stretch it out here. You might lower that back knee just like we did yesterday, looping the shoulders, working out the kinks. And then when you're ready, we're going to lift that back knee up. We're going to lift the fingertips and then draw the biceps, up by the ears. High lunge. Super strong pose here. I'm hugging into the midline. I might soften through that back knee just so I can draw my tailbone down and underneath me. Working hard here. Take one more deep breath in. And then exhale. Send your right fingertips behind you. Left fingertips forward. I'm going to turn to the right. Pull your right hip crease back and breathe here as you sink a little deeper perhaps. You got it. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out. Inhale back to high lunge. Stick with it. And exhale, release. Hallelujah. So you have an option here. Take a vinyasa or take a rest in child's pose. So we have two options. I like lots of options. Keeps you alive and in the moment. Also keeps you happy. You're more likely to stick with it if you're in control. Together we'll meet in downward facing dog, where we'll drop the right heel and inhale, slide the left leg up high. Dial those toes down, level the hips, press into both palms evenly. Careful not to crash into your right shoulder, but press into both palms. Here we go. Inhale in, exhale, bend that left knee, squeeze it up towards your heart. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, three-legged dog. And exhale all the way up into your low lunge. Awesome work, my friends. Stick with it. Take a little explore time here to stretch it out. You might lower that back knee. Find your breath. Pay attention to your alignment. And then when you're ready, we'll lift that back knee up, bringing integrity into the center, into our core, hugging the inner thighs towards the midline. Let the fingertips hover. Deep breath in. I continue the journey up, biceps by the ears. Check it out. And then I kind of go through my checklist here. I can soften that right knee a little bit. I can maybe pull the left hip crease back. Find what feels good. Stay curious. Then we'll inhale in, and on an exhale, make this a slow journey. No need to rush. I'm going to open out to the left. Left fingertips back, right fingertips forward. You can have a little style here if you want. Sometimes in these high lunges I get really serious, so I encourage you to soften it up, smile, keep it easy. One more breath. And we inhale back to high lunge. Deep breath in. And exhale, release. Awesome. One more vinyasa here. Feel free to skip it. Totally skip it if you want. But I encourage you to give it a go in some variation. Knees lowered or lifted. We inhale to upward facing dog or cobra. And then exhale everyone to child's pose. Swim the fingertips back. Rest your forehead on the earth. And notice how you feel. Observe your breath. Shoulders relax. Press into the tops of the feet, tuck your chin into your chest, and we slowly begin to roll it up. Right palm comes to the outer edge of the left thigh, left fingertips behind, and we just find a gentle twist here, lifting the heart. Inhale. Exhale, moving into your twist. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and exhale, twist. Inhale, back to center, and same thing on the other side. So, general rule of thumb, a very joyful rule of thumb in twists is inhale, we find that energetic lift, that current upwards. And then on the exhale, we ease into the twist. We inhale, create more space up through the spine, and exhale, we wring it out, like we're wringing out a dirty rag, just kind of getting rid of all the stuff that no longer serves us, all that dirty water. A wonderful image. One more breath. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, wring it out. And then slowly we'll come back to center. Nice, easy transition to the buttocks. We come to all fours. Cross the left ankle over the right. Use your hands to guide you as you come on through. Paschimottanasana, we're going to send both legs out in front. So you can bring your towel or your blankie back if you need to. Lift the hips a little bit. Sometimes it's nice, especially for a seated forward fold. Tops of the thighs draw down. In fact, they have this energetic spiral kind of in and down as we pull through the heels, or press through the heels rather, and sit up nice and tall. Then inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Big breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Now, belly, it doesn't have to come to the thighs, and we don't have to do this kind of like Bikram style peanut butter and jelly thing here, unless you want to, which is totally cool. But rather, think about it just like a nice, sweet release in your back. So imagine a big ball here as you go up and over. Basically, no problem if there's a lot of space here. You can be here, 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 here. In time, we'll begin to work and work and work and work and work and get it. Maybe where our nose is closer to our knees, but just be where you're at today. And then when you arrive, let the weight of the head relax completely over. Breathe into the backs of the legs. Breathe into the back body. Awesome. Tuck the chin into the chest, release your arms, and slowly roll it up. Catch the backs of your thighs with your hands as you slide the soles of the feet back up, knees up towards the sky. You can stay on your blankie here if you want, it's no problem. I'm going to get off mine, and I'm going to return to this boat variation. Shins lifted, parallel to the ceiling, heart open, elbows draw down, shoulders away from the ears. You might reach the fingertips forward again, or you might stay right here, nice and comfy. Or you might inhale in, exhale, send the fingertips out, toes out wide. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, spread. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, spread the fingertips and toes, lift your heart. And one more time, inhale and exhale, burst free. You might hold here for a breath or two. And you might be like, no. Together we'll come back to hands behind the thighs and rock it on back. Enjoy this little rock and roll move. You might take a moment here in plow pose, or you might save that for another day. Massaging the spine sweetly, back and forth we go. And then when you feel satisfied, go ahead and come onto your back. Hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. You rock a little gently side to side if it feels good. Then slowly we'll release the soles of the feet to the ground. I'm going to do this embarrassing inchworm. So listen to where I'm at. And I'm going to send the right leg up high. Reclined one leg pigeon here, crossing right ankle over the left thigh. Interlace the fingertips behind your left thigh and squeeze those legs up towards your heart. Breathe. Inhale in, exhale, unravel, and switch. Left leg goes up high. Crossing the left ankle over the right thigh. Same thing on this side. Pay attention to how you feel. Stay present in the sensations. And A little really goes a long way. So good. Yoga is so awesome. Seriously. I'm feeling it in my body like, oh yeah, I needed this. One more breath. On an exhale, we unravel. Once again, hugging the knees up, ending with the little Texas T here. We send the fingertips left to right. Inhale, scoop the tailbone up. Exhale, melt the knees to one side. Doesn't matter which side. Inhale to center, and exhale onto my mic back to the opposite side. And then it's all you, baby. Back and forth here. Try to keep your shoulders on the ground, and we just stabilize and work it out, twisting back and forth, back and forth. And then when you feel satisfied, take your time, but when you feel satisfied, come back to center. Soles of the feet hit the mat with a bit of a thud, just a little reflexology here. That felt good. You can do it a couple more times. And then slowly sliding the legs down. Oh, one at a time. Inhale, reaching the arms up and overhead, full body stretch. Inhale, lots of love in. And exhale, lots of love out. Good job, my friends. If there's anything else you'd like to fulfill in your body, do that now. Practice. All yours. Otherwise, we're going to guide the body towards Shavasana. Taking a moment of gratitude for this time on our mat. Get settled in, close your eyes, return your breath back to its natural rhythm. And enjoy this moment of rest.